we've had soccer take over the city of Philadelphia with the FIFA Club World Cup coming.
Yeah,
And
there's some games coming to Philadelphia.
I think there's like 9.
Yeah,
There's like
we
9 World Club.
We got a lot of games for the Club World Cup.
Yeah, so I believe there's 5 in group play that are here.
Yeah, there's one tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it'll be played by the time this is up.
And then there's, I believe, 2 or 3 for the knockout rounds that are played here, because the finals played in MetLife.
Yeah.
So all the teams that are coming from the West are going to stop here first before they make their way to MetLife, you know? So
yeah, there's a couple of...
there's a decent amount of games that are being held at Lincoln Financial Field.
Yeah, there's a couple of games coming here. We got Flamengo, Chelsea, Man City.
I think Real Madrid against someone.
Yeah, Real Madrid, Salzburg. That's like
Salzburg against someone.
That's like the highlight of the game.
Yeah, so there's
in Philadelphia.
There's going to be some good games. There's going to be some good soccer taking place here over the next couple of weeks. And if you're here for, the FIFA Club World Cup, you're going to see a lot of good
They played a game yesterday, Flamengo versus ES Tunis at the Link. So
yeah, I think Flamengo won.
Yeah, Chelsea plays at the Link. Yesterday they played LAFC at Atlanta.
Yeah, so Flamengo is Brazilian, I believe.
Flamengo is Brazilian.
And then the other team is an African team. I'm not entirely sure what country. I'm going to assume Tunisia, from the fact that they're called Tunis. But
yeah, Tunis.
I'm going to assume that they're from Tunisia.
We'll find out.
But I think Africa...
Yeah, Tunisian.
I don't think Africa has, country leagues. I think they have, a Northern African League and then, a Southern African League, where it's, a whole bunch of different...
I think I know they do the Asian Champions League.
Yeah, they do have the Asian one. I don't know if any Asian teams are going to be playing at the Link, though.
I don't know either.
I don't think they are. But there's going to be a lot of soccer action coming, and the Union have had actually a surprising amount of players having to leave the team for international duty with the whole
Nations League
and qualifying for
World
World Cup and all that stuff. So there's a lot of soccer going on right now in the city of Philadelphia and around the city of Philadelphia. And we got to just highlight how amazing the Union have been, because they're number 1 in the East.
They won on a walk-off.
Yeah, with the
most previous game.
Marcus Anderson scored his first ever MLS goal.
Yeah, game winner.
And it was the game winner with
I saw
3 seconds left.
Yeah, I was watching that too.
It was 97 minutes and 57 seconds on the clock when he hit that ball into the net.
3 more seconds and they would have blown the whistle.
Yeah, 3 more seconds or 30 more seconds, because they would have had 30 to a minute to finish their attack.
Yeah.
But the next clearance, it would have been game over, So he literally won the game on the last kick of the game, which is pretty freaking cool.
And that's something that's something to brag about.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the fact that's your first goal in professional MLS,
that's an accomplishment.
He was called up from Union 2, from USL.
Oh wow!
Because of the people
that international.
Yeah,
stuff?
because of the people that have left on internet.
Wow.
So he's not even a regular member of this team. He got called up for this game,
and he just comes and scores the game winner.
That's just crazy. He gets called up for this game, and he scores on the last possible moment that you could score in this game. 21 years old. I mean, he was pumped about it. His reaction.
I think everyone would be pumped about it.
The entire team was pumped for him.
Oh, yeah, especially if it's the game winner, dude.
Yeah, you're some dude that's a nobody, basically. You just get randomly called up because other people have to leave on international duty. You're not even taking a spot permanently.
And then just scores the game winner.
Yeah, and you score the game winner. That's pretty cool for Marcus Anderson right there. But obviously, with his goal, they win 2-1. And they're now 4 points above FC Cincinnati for the number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference. And I think that they're 2 points ahead of the Vancouver Whitecaps right now for the best record in the MLS overall. But I think the Whitecaps have a game in hand. I think they've only played 17 games, and the Union have played 18.
Union have played 18 at 37 points, and the Whitecaps have played 17 at 35. So.
Right. So if the Whitecaps win, they could still overtake the Union for the number 1 spot in the league, but still they're number 1 in the East. The East is a really, really strong conference compared to the West. Just take a look at the top 6 teams in the East compared to the top 6 in the West. Mm-hmm. All the top 6 in the East have over 30 points, I think, at this stage.
It's all 30 points except Miami's at 29.
Yeah, well, everyone over there is, I think there's 3 teams above 30.
Teams
30. And everyone else is below 30 with like 28, 27, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's the East is no joke of conference. They're playing against very good competition.
This is hard to compete in, so.
And they've now gone 10 unbeaten in the MLS and 12 unbeaten in all competitions. So they haven't lost a game in over 2 months. I don't think they've lost a game since April.
Which is crazy.
We're in June.
Yeah, we're in.
They went
June
all 17th. Of May, and I believe they lost in like the first week in April. Like it wasn't far into April. It was like a couple of days in that they lost. So they've been on a tear of a streak, and honestly, they could have won that game against Charlotte 4-1. They probably should have won 4-1, but I don't know what's up with these goalies making it incredible stops,
incredible hard to score goals.
So David Bingham, who is the goalkeeper that's replacing Charlotte's goalkeeper, who got called up for international duty.
Wow!
Right, made ridiculous saves after this dude made like 6 or 7 saves in the game, and he made 2 that were absolutely crazy. One was from a shot that was literally less than like 10 yards away from the net, and he kick-saved it out of the net. Complete reaction.
That's crazy.
Like right there.
What the hell, dude?
He literally stuck his foot out and just kicked it that was one of them. There was another one that he had to fully stretch out to stop another save, and it just barely went off his fingertips. He had another save against Bruno Damiani that had, I think it said like a 36% goal expectancy, 36% goal expectation rate, which is pretty high. When most of the time when your
players score, it's much lower.
Like 0.2, expectation, not 0.36. That's really high. And he made an outstanding save to keep the game at 1-0 at that point. So he kept Charlotte in that game much longer than they should have been in it, just by the fact that he was phenomenal.
He was so good at saving.
Yeah. And probably, they did have a chance to win it. So Wilfred Zaha tied the game in the 78th minute off of a...
Wilfred Zaha.
Yeah, off of a fantastic cross, I have to say. And I'm probably going to butcher this name. But it was a fantastic cross from Jackley Marshall Rudy. And it was literally right to his foot. He just had to...
Yeah, dude,
he literally just had to tap it.
Yeah, no clue what that is.
And I think literally 5 minutes later, Charlotte was breaking again. And it was 1-1 at this point. I don't know who had a ball over the top, but it was perfect ball over the top that should have been... they should have scored on. But the dude shoots it to Andrew Rick's left, and he has to stop, fully stretch out to dive to make the save.
Wow.
And he stretches out, he knocks the ball down, and it lands right in front of him. And then Frankie Westfield comes running out of nowhere and just clears the ball before the other Charlotte FC attacker could get to it. But if they scored right there, that probably would have been game over for the Union, and they probably wouldn't have won that game. They probably would have lost 2-1. So the fact that they had an outstanding performance in their goal really kept them in it with a shot to win up until the very end of the game. So the reason I'm highlighting that is because Andrew Rick has been really, really good since filling in.
Since the absence of Andre Blake.
Yeah, since filling in for Andre Blake. And Andre Blake is up on international duty right now for Jamaica. So depending upon how far Jamaica goes in the Gold Cup, which they might get to round of 16.
Yeah, we don't know, but
Usually Jamaica gets out of the, like, usually they get into the knockout, but then they usually
and then they have to face the real teams. So.
Yeah, like, it's not hard to make it out of the group stage when you're going against other teams that are like, Costa Rica.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, much smaller islands with much less population.
Less talent.
Right, so it's not like they're never in the group with the United States. So back to Andrew Rick. He's been absolutely phenomenal ever since Andre Blake has gone out. And Andrew Rick has won them some games over this stretch and has made it so that they haven't lost some games over this stretch. He's only 19. He's U.S. international player, or from the U.S. national pool. He's never been called up to the international level, but you know what I mean. I wouldn't be surprised if Andre Blake comes back, Andrew Rick gets moved to another team where he's going to get playing time.
More playing time.
Because they're going to want to potentially have him on the 2026 World Cup team.
Yeah, and the transfer window is open, so...
Right, so that is maybe a sneaky move that you could see him go to, like... He's not going to go to anywhere crazy. Like, he's not going to go over to, like, England or Germany.
No, he'll go to an MLS
But he might
team.
go to... I could see him going to, like, Belgium. Or like a Belgium team.
He might stay in the MLS, like...
Or, like, the Scottish Premiership. Or the Irish Premiership.
Not like
for Celtic or Glasgow.
Not like a big market team.
Or, someone like that. He's probably going to get a transfer out of here to get more playing time, I would assume. Unless they want to keep him and they move Andre Blake. But
I don't think they move Andre Blake.
Andre Blake, I think, is going to retire as a member of the Philadelphia Union. I don't really think he's going to any other team after the Union. I think that this is, like, his home. This is where he's going to be. He's been here for the past 6 years. Like,
unless he leaves on, like, a really big transfer, I don't see it
unless
happening.
He leaves on a big move, he's not going to go anywhere, And I think he's even come out and said that he doesn't want to even go to the West Coast because he wants to be able to fly home to Jamaica.
And that's a much closer flight from Philadelphia than...
from Philadelphia to Jamaica
California.
than, like, L.A. to Jamaica.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You don't need no connecting flight if you're going from Philly to Jamaica.
Absolutely not.
But you do from L.A. to Jamaica. So he wants to stay kind of where he is. I don't really see him going anywhere. So just for people who are Union fans out there, once this, international group phase ends, this international period, I wouldn't be surprised if Andrew Rick goes somewhere else because the way that he's played, there's some other team out there that's going to want him as their starting goalkeeper. Like, they're going to. He's been great.
And he's young, too. He's only 19.
He's only 19. Yeah, like, he's been great. And to be great as a 19-year-old goalkeeper, goalies usually take longer to develop just because of the nature of the position. The fact that you're not done growing most of the time until you're in your 20s. Like, you are still growing. Like, he's still maturing into his body right now. You don't normally see goalkeepers who are really young have a lot of success early on. You usually see that happen after they're 24, 25, 26, once they really get into that body of the goalkeeper body, where you're 6'3", 6'4", strong, huge legs because you need to be able to jump big distances and stuff. So the fact that he's playing as well as he is at 19 years old, he's going to get snatched up by someone else. I think he's too good of a player for another team to not notice at this point. If it was 1 or 2 appearances here or there, then you could maybe get away with him flying under the radar. But he's made like 7, 8 appearances in a row now where he's been phenomenal. Some team somewhere out there in the world is going to notice. And if he's going to have the option to go back to the bench or be a starter, he's going to be a starter.
Obviously, he's going to be a starter.
So just be prepared for Andrew Rick's potential departure this summer. I would anticipate it. But other than that, Charlotte taken down on the 98th minute, and the Union's next match will be against the Chicago Fire. That's Wednesday, June 25th. So that's not tomorrow, Wednesday, the following Wednesday. And that's going to be in Chicago at Soldier Field. I don't really think they should have a problem with that game. Chicago's not great. They should at least come away with a point. Hopefully, I they should come away with 3
They
points.
should come away with 3 points.
Yeah, they should come away with 3 points against Chicago. I think Chicago has 7 losses and 3 draws on the year. Like they're not great. So they're a beatable team. Union should handle their business